Pleasure, Chris.
So, give us the state of play. What happens now? Do you believe there is a chance for what the American people say they always want most, which is to get the left and the right working together for them?
Well, let's be clear about what's happened over the last 24 hours in the United States Senate. It was an abject failure of the United States Senate to do what America needs doing. It was a failure from the newest member, Luther Strange, at the bottom to the very top with Mitch McConnell as majority leader. And I hope that the Senate will not quit. I hope and I urge the Senate to stay in Washington, D.C. until the job gets done. You know, there's an old saying that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Now is not the time to leave the American people in a lurch. Now is not the time to leave American health care at risk. Now is not the time to continue to stress even worse the family budgets as parents are trying to take care of their kids. So I hope they won't quit. And if they're going to quit, well, then by golly, maybe they ought to start at the top with Mitch McConnell leaving his position and letting somebody new, somebody bold, somebody conservative take the reins so that they can come up with a plan that can get through the United States Senate and serve the needs of the American people.
You think that the problem is leadership? You think it's time for a change for the Republicans in the Senate?
Well, unquestionably, the leadership at the top is responsible. The buck stops there. That's why you take on that kind of responsibility. And if Mitch McConnell cannot get the job done on this, how is he going to get the job done on the rest of President Trump's agenda over the next 3.5 years? As I see it right now, this is a killer. As you recall from 6 months ago, if we did not get health care passed, that meant that there would be no tax reform, which in turn meant that there would be no infrastructure improvements. And if that ends up being the case, as was represented to us in the House back in the spring when we forced through a health care bill, well, we need new leadership in the Senate if they can't get the job done. It's not necessarily anything bad about Mitch McConnell himself personally,
right,
but he's got a job to do, and if he can't do it, then as The Apprentice would say, you're fired, get somebody who can.